If you're like me and you use either UV resin or super glue to attach eyes to your jigs and swim baits, you're gonna wanna hang around because I believe I have found something better. We've all been there. You work really hard on that swim bait, on that jig head. Everything seems to be looking great, ready to go, and the last step is to install the eye. So you reach for your favorite super glue, you unscrew the top, you put just the tiniest little dab on there, because if you put too much on, it's gonna gloop out the side, or heaven help us, that eyeball is gonna flip, and now you've got glue on the outside of the eye, or it's in the wrong place on the swim bait, and now it's creating this crusty junk. And even if all that does work out, the jig head or the swim bait is gonna sit there with the eye and super glue and cure, and the vapors from the glue are gonna rise. We can't see it, and they're gonna create this haze, this film over top of the eye, and all of your hard work is ruined. So to get around that, at least in the jig head world, I go to UV resin. Solves a lot of those problems. I can put the eye on, I can move it around, and this stuff doesn't stick or stop until I hit it with light. But the problem with UV resin is that it doesn't work on soft plastics. So heretofore, we don't have a singular solution that gives us the safety of UV resin, but the strength and durability of glue, until maybe now. I forget who turned me on to this. It's gotta be a year ago or so, and I tried it then, but I ran into some issues that I think I might have a solution for now, so I'm revisiting it. What is the new solution? Well, it's this stuff right here. JB Weld Super Weld Light Activated Instant Glue. It's just what it sounds like. It's a light activated glue. This is not a light activated resin. So this is not UV resin, and it's not super glue either. It's a light activated glue. Couple quick specs on it. It says here it cures in 10 seconds. That's with the light, which is actually included. It's on the bottom, although I am going to suggest a stronger one because that one kind of sucks. It also says that it's rated for 2,800 PSI strength, and it dries clear. From what I can tell, there's no vapors like a classic super glue. Now it does say here on the back that even without the light, it will cure in 30 to 60 seconds, and I did test that. Got my phone out, put on the stopwatch, moved an eye around for the full 30 seconds, which I was able to do, get it right back, or right in the spot where I wanted it to be, and then hit it with the light and cured it. So you may be asking, why did you stop using it then if it seems to work so well? It's because of the applicator. So the way that this works, just like a normal super glue deal, this piece screws down and it breaks a seal, and now the stuff can come through. You know, you got a squeezy part here. This applicator I found to be a little temperamental. It's kind of like the ketchup bottle that doesn't get shaken up, and you flip it over and you squeeze a little out and it's like runny and watery. Very similar to my experience with this. I would flip it over, give it a squeeze, and there would be air trapped in it. So what would come out is a bubble, and then that bubble would burst and all of this glue would disperse in places where I didn't want it to be. So figuring out how to use it without having to use this applicator was the key. And these are my two proposed solutions, although let me know in the comments if you have a better idea. First of all, just a simple cup. You can squeeze some out into the cup and then use a wooden dowel. Easy peasy, get these at Walmart. They're like $1 for 150 of them or something. But you put enough in there, use the end of that. You just need to cover and then bloop, put it where you want it, put the eye on, seal it, good to go. The one thing I was worried about in that application or in that methodology is if the glue would sit up in the bottom of that container because it's supposed to cure in 30 to 60 seconds. That's only when there is a very thin layer. I put some of this in and let it sit overnight, and I came back in and moved it around in the cup. It was still moving. I mean, how long does it take for you to put your eyes on? 10, 15, 20 minutes if you got a bunch. Should be plenty fine to do that, and truth be told, that may be my preferred solution. However, I do have these as well. That is what I keep my UV resin in. I got these off of Amazon. They have a little tip here at the top, right, for precision. I thought this was going to be the deal. However, this little pipe did end up sealing up. There's some glue in there that ended up sealing up, so it wasn't as ideal. You can remove that. Yep, just like that, and now you've got an applicator without it, which is how, again, I use my UV resin. However, I was finding that I got a little bit of air popping out of this, just like I got it popping out of this. So all that said, let's now demo this stuff. I'm gonna pour some into a container here, got my little dowel, and put some eyes on both a swim bait and a jig head. All right, I got my cup here. We'll just squeeze out a little bit. We only need a little bit at the very bottom there. Got a 5.4 inch whip wad here from a recent video, and as you can see, it takes an eye. So we just get our little stick here, get down in, get the end of it wet, find our eye socket, and just get a little dab. And come in with our eyeball and just drop her on. If it can come off the tweezers. Got another stick here, and I can actually move that thing around as much as I need to, get it just where I want it. And instead of using the light that's at the other end of this applicator, which is very weak, I have a standard UV flashlight. So we'll just go ahead and, gonna move the glue so I don't cure everything, and just hit it. It's really that simple. Hold this on for, I don't know, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, thereabouts. Every now and then you'll actually see some smoke rise off of it as it rapid cures. So you definitely don't want to get any of this stuff on your skin and then accidentally hit that with the light. I've actually done that before with UV resin, and it hurts because it gets really hot really fast. But that's it. Look at that. Bingo, bango, boongo. Gets a pair of pliers here and try to get this thing back off. Okay, can't get it with the pliers. Let me just see if I can grab it with my fingers. Right there. I'm pulling, boys. I'm pulling. Look at that. It is strong. Trying to get in there and show you some stretch, but I'm literally not able to get my fingers around it. I mean, I could pull it right there and it would actually tear the plastic. Here's another example of one that I did earlier. Let's see if we can go ahead and just yank one of these things off. There, got it. And it took plastic with it. It literally ripped some of it chunked it off just like a super glue would. That's crazy. So we know it definitely works on a soft plastic. What about a jig head? So I've got a 1/4 ounce SDG Go-To bladed jig here. Takes a 6mm eye, and we'll drop our eyeball right onto it. I do like to use, like I said, a wooden dowel to move things around just so I don't get glue on, whoops. See what I'm saying? You can move crap around. Look at that. You can just move it around however you need to. But anyway, I don't like to get glue on my tweezers if I don't have to, so I use a little wooden dowel here. That looks pretty good. I like it to be right in the middle because I'm anal like that. There we go. All that time, right? I'm still moving it around. Now we're gonna bring it in, hit it with the light, And there we go. Good to go. Get my finger in there, get my fingernail in there. That sucker is not coming out. In fact, I had to pull this guy out with a razor blade to get underneath and dig out the eyes that I had put on another one just as an experiment. So stuff is legit even for jig eyes. So there you go, guys. One glue for both soft plastics and jig heads. It goes on clear. It dries, cures clear. You can move it around as often and as long as you need to within, 30 seconds thereabouts. Hit it with the light and it is just as strong as super glue without all the vapors afterwards. This feels like a winner to me. JB Weld Super Weld Light Activated Instant Glue. I got all of mine at Home Depot, maybe able to find it at Lowe's or other home stores, probably Amazon. It's not exactly cheap. This thing was $11.50 for the container, but man, if it saves me that much time and that much trouble, I think it's going to be worth the money. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I do appreciate you coming along for it, and until the next time, see you guys in the shop.